Hi, welcome to yoga. My name's Melissa, and today we're going to be doing a gentle sequence to ground down into our body, tap into our breath, and build a little bit of strength. We will need a chair today, preferably without arms, and also being on a non-slip surface. Today I added a blanket to bring my feet up a little bit because you want your knees to be in line with your hips, and it might be a nice little extra cushion. So as we find ourselves sitting, just kind of rock back and forth, begin to feel your seat bones, finding that comfortable spot. As you inhale, lengthening up through the spine. Maybe take a few rounds of breath here. Begin to soften your face and your jaw. And then we're going to take our left hand, gently place it onto the right side of our head, and just allow that left ear to come to that left shoulder. And that hand just allowing a little bit of pressure to get a little bit more stretch in your neck here. Breathing through those tight areas. And then releasing that left hand down, bringing that right hand over to the left side, placing it on the side of your head, right ear, right shoulder. And then feeling that gentle pull. Maybe noticing where your breath is. Is it more up towards your chest, more middle, or belly? And if it's more up here towards the chest, maybe trying to push it down towards your belly. Feeling that grounding movement. And then releasing that right hand down, bringing your neck back up. We're just going to do some nice shoulder circles. Just going to bring our shoulders up, back, and down. Arms can be resting on your thighs, or it might feel better to just allow them to fall to the sides. Finding that connection with your breath. Two more. Last one. Let's reverse that direction. Linking this movement to your breath. One more here. Settling in. You might feel a little activation up in here, getting into those muscles, loosening any tension you might have. Then we're just going to take our arms and we're going to sweep them up. And then we're going to exhale as they come back, kind of pointing towards the back of the room. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale as we sweep up. Exhale. It's fine if you want to incorporate a little bit of movement. Maybe your upper body kind of hinges forward a little bit. Two more here. Last one. And then coming back to that neutral spine, we're just going to step the feet out slightly, maybe coming a little bit closer to the edge of your seat, planting your hands on the tops of your thighs. We're just going to find some barrel rolls. So just imagine your middle section kind of touching the front, side, back, side, and front. kind of stretching your whole mid area. We're going to do 2 more and then switch that direction. So when you find yourself in the middle, let's swap that direction. Two more here. Relaxing in your face and in your jaw. Let's do 1 more. And then find yourself back in center. Now we're gonna step our legs out a little bit wider. They might come off of your blanket. So we're kind of in a wide leg stance here. And we're gonna bring that left forearm onto the top of that left thigh and find a side bend here. You could also grab the side of your chair if that feels more comfortable. Gaze goes out beyond the other side. And then exhale, release. That right hand comes down. Forearm places on your right thigh. Inhaling, bringing that left arm up. Finding that breath. Exhale, coming back to center. Stepping our feet forward so they're about hip width distance apart. We're gonna inhale, and as we inhale, we're gonna bring one knee into the chest. You can grab the front of the calf, or you can grab underneath, kind of interlace your fingers and grab underneath the thigh, and then release. Let's do that 2 more times. And then exhale, release it out. And then let's switch that opposite side. Inhale, bring it in. Keeping that spine nice and straight. We'll be activating that core slightly. 1 more here. And then exhale, release. Now we're gonna start with that left leg. We're just gonna extend that leg out in front of us, maybe pointing and flexing that foot. And then slightly lifting that leg off the floor and doing some ankle circles here. Switching directions. And then releasing, bringing that back, extending out that right leg, finding that pointing and flexing. Tuning into that breath. And then lifting your foot up, finding that ankle circle. Imagine that you're drawing a small circle with your big toe. And then switching that direction. And then releasing that back down. Settling into your seat. And we'll be right back for some more breath work. Hi, let's get comfortable in our seat. If you've gotten a glass of water, maybe placing your feet on that blanket or blocks, whichever you chose, and then finding that seat placement, finding that rocking back and forth. And we're just gonna bring one hand onto our chest, one hand onto our belly. Eyes can be open or closed here, allowing your face to soften. Maybe find a nice gentle gaze on the floor. And just allow yourself to feel the rhythm of your breath. Feeling that movement. Maybe noticing where your breath is more strong or stronger. And if you feel it more up here in your chest area, think of sending it down towards the ground, kind of grounding into your body. Allowing yourself to relax into this breath. And then releasing your hands down onto your thighs, taking a notice of how you might be feeling. And then we're going to bring our left foot up, coming into that figure 4. We're going to do a nice little foot massage here. So we're going to take our thumbs and just kind of press, starting from the back of our heel, kind of pressing our thumbs into our heel, coming up through our arch, just making our way all the way up to the top. And then getting in there with each toe. So focusing on each little toe, coming from the base and then working your way to the top. And then when you find yourself done at the top, we're going to work backward. And if you find any tight areas, then maybe spend a little bit more time in that section. And then we're just going to take the foot and do some nice little circles here. And then we're going to take both hands, give our foot a nice little squeeze and release that, placing both hands on the top of that leg. Inhale, lengthening up through the spine. We're just going to hinge forward. Maybe feeling this in the outer thigh, up into our hip. And noticing if your shoulders are kind of working their way up towards your ears, allow that to release. And then exhale, push back, sending that left leg down. Let's bring up that right. We're going to take our 2 thumbs again, starting at the back of that heel and making our way up towards the top. Working through each toe, starting at the base, going all the way up to the top. And then once you're done, working your way back down the foot. And then taking that hand, cupping it, doing some ankle circles. Breathing here. And then giving it one last squeeze, planting your hands down on that thigh. Inhaling, lengthening here, exhaling as you hinge forward. Maybe taking notice that one hip might be slightly tighter than the other, which is completely normal. Allow those shoulders to sink down away from the ears. And then coming back up, releasing that foot. We're going to bring our palms together, resting them at our heart center. We're just going to do some twists here. If it feels better to have your arms open, choosing whichever feels more comfortable to your body. So we're just going to twist. So we're going to bring that left elbow over to the right side. Exhale, release. Right elbow, left side. We're going to just do this one more time. Exhale, center. Left elbow, right side. Exhale, right elbow, left side. And release, coming back to center. Take a breath here. And then we're just going to do a full circle forward fold. So I can demonstrate here. We're going to inhale, we're going to reach up. And then as we exhale, we're gonna hinge forward, bringing our hands towards the floor. And then we're gonna come back up as our arms reach up. So kind of making that full circle O. So let's start with our hands by our sides. We're gonna inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands sweeping down towards the floor as the front of our body comes to our thighs. Inhale, rising up and reaching. Exhale, coming into that forward fold. Let's do this one more time. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold forward. Coming back up. And then as we exhale, we're just gonna allow our hands to come down by our sides. Okay, coming here, kind of centering ourselves in this space. We're just gonna open our chest. So we're gonna reach back behind us. Maybe we grab onto our chair. Maybe we allow our hands to rest on our back. Just kind of opening up here, sending our gaze up towards the ceiling. And then as we exhale, we're just gonna hug ourselves, opening up the back of our body. Take notice of which arm is on top. And then exhale, opening up through the chest. And then we're gonna hug ourselves. We're gonna swap that top arm, bringing our chin into our chest. And then exhale, release, opening. And then coming back to center, placing our hands on our thighs. We're gonna take a little break here. Feel free to grab a glass of water, and I'll see you in a bit. Hi, welcome back. We're gonna start standing. So you're gonna want to be facing your chair, preferably having the back facing the back of the room. Make sure it's on a non-slip surface. And the great thing about having the chair here is finding that support. So if you do need that support, feeling free to grab on there. We're just gonna begin in standing here. So bringing your feet about hip width distance apart, using the chair if you need it. We're just gonna start to shift our weight from front to back, sending our awareness into our feet, noticing our breath. And then let's shift that weight from side to side. Taking some nice full breaths in, and maybe it feels good to exhale out the mouth, or maybe it feels good to exhale out the nose. And then slowly begin to come back to center, finding that stillness. Placing a hand on that chair, the back of the chair. We're just gonna come up onto the ball of our feet, and then lowering back down. Just gonna do this a couple times. And knowing that any lift is great. Listening to your body, so you don't need to come fully off the mat. Let's do one more. Exhale, release, maybe shake your legs out. Let's kind of step back from the chair. We're just gonna take a round of breath here. So we're gonna inhale, bending our knees, reaching up and rising. Exhale, bring our hands down by our sides. And then we're gonna plant our hands down onto the chair. I place my blanket here for a little added height. Kind of bring that chair more towards me. Feet are hip width distance apart. And we're just gonna find cat-cow here. And knowing that if you find any discomfort in your wrists, you can always come on to your fists. So slight bend in those knees. And as we come down into cat, or cow, excuse me, we're gonna soften the front part of our body. So soften that belly. Allow everything to let go. And then as you tuck your chin, curl your back. Kind of imagine that middle section kind of wrapping around, feeling a little bit tightening in your core. And then as you exhale, opening and softening through that front body. And then exhale, tucking chin, bringing that belly towards your spine. And just moving through this at your own pace, linking it to your breath. One more here. And then find yourself back in that neutral spine, maybe stepping your feet closer to the chair, tucking that chin and slowly rolling up one vertebra at a time. And then we're going to take those arms, bend those knees, reach up and rise, lengthening here. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring our hands down onto that chair. We're going to step that left leg back, finding that high lunge. So high lunge can be the heel is planted onto the mat, or the heel can be up off the mat. Pulling in that belly. And then on your next exhale, we're gonna step that right foot back to meet that left, sending our seat bones back towards the back of the mat into downward facing dog. And then inhale, rise up. We're gonna step forward with that left foot, finding that high lunge. Breathing through this pose. And then right foot's gonna meet that left. We're gonna tuck that chin, slowly roll up, rising as we reach up towards the ceiling. Exhale, arms down by your side, hands come to that chair. This time we're gonna step back with that right foot coming into that high lunge. Breathing here, noticing if your shoulders are up towards your ears. If they are, allow them to relax and release down your back. And then on your next exhale, we're gonna step that left leg back, bending those knees, coming into that downward facing dog. Inhale as we come up, stepping forward with that right foot, pressing into that front leg. Bringing that left foot to meet that right, tucking that chin, slowly rolling up. Reaching up, bringing our palms together, allowing our hands to come down to our heart. Taking a breath here. We're going to take a short break, grab a glass of water, and I'll see you in a few. Hi, now we're going to get into the heart of our yoga practice. We're going to go through some of those sun salutations again, and then find that warrior series, feeling nice and strong in our body, dealing with some flexibility. So we're going to come to the front of our mat, facing our chair as we did before, and we're just going to find those sun salutations. So bending our knees, inhaling as we rise up, Exhaling, arms coming down by our sides. Hands are coming onto that chair. And noticing your feet. You might have to step back a little bit to find that comfortable spot in your body. And then let's find some cat-cow here. So allowing that front of your body to soften as it sinks towards the mat. And then tucking chin, curling that back. So that one more time. And then finding that neutral spine, we're going to step that left leg back, coming into that high lunge. And then stepping that right foot to meet that left, pressing our seat bones back towards the back of our mat. Knees are bent, coming into downward facing dog. Holding here for a few breaths. Rising up, stepping forward with that left foot, finding that high lunge. Right foot's going to meet that left, tucking that chin as we roll up. Inhale as we rise, arms reaching up. Exhale, arms floating back down. We're going to bring our hands back down onto the chair, and we're going to find warrior one. So we're going to step that left foot back, and we want our toes facing the long side of our mat. We're going to press into that front foot, staying here. If this feels good to your body, stay here. Or you might want to find that back of the chair, allowing yourself to rise up. Maybe your arm comes forward or it finds your hip. Breathing here. And then wherever you are, we're going to send our arms back towards the back of our mat. So we're going to bring our chest towards that front thigh. And knowing that your hands can be here on the chair to support you, and maybe one hand comes back, or maybe no hands come back. So keeping that back nice and flat. And then we're going to make our way back up to that warrior one. And we're going to play with a little bit of balance here, warrior three. So we're going to step off that left foot, allowing it to lift. And lifting can be here, here, repositioning your hands if you need to, keeping a bend in that supportive leg, and then just allow that floating leg to come back down, finding a forward fold. Maybe your forearms come down onto the chair, knees are nice and bent. Just allow your upper body to feel heavy. Taking a few rounds of breath. And then keeping that chin tucked, maybe pressing into your chair as you slowly roll back up to standing. And let's find that sun salutation. So we're going to inhale as we reach up. Exhale, arms coming down to our sides. Hands are making their way to the chair. We're going to step back with that right leg, finding that high lunge. Taking a breath here. And then stepping back with that opposite leg. Knees are bent, seat bones pressing back towards our mat, back of our mat. And down dog. And then begin to float up, right foot steps forward, high lunge. And then opposite foot meets, tucking chin, slowly rolling up. Inhale as we reach up. Exhale, arms come down by our sides. And then let's find that warrior series on the opposite side. So we're going to bring our hands down on to the chair, step that right leg back. And knowing that it's about 4 feet, but if that 4 feet doesn't work, if you want to have a less wider stance, that's completely fine. Just listen to your body and what's working for you, making sure that our toes are facing the long side of our mat, pressing into the front leg. And then again, staying here, or other options are rising up, allowing the back of that mat to support you, or excuse me, the chair support you, extending that arm forward, or keeping it down by the body. And find that breath. And then we're going to bring the front of the body towards that bent thigh, allowing both hands to find that resting spot on the chair, or allowing one arm to extend back towards the back of your mat. And then let's play with that balance here into Warrior 3, both hands planted on the chair, lifting that leg slowly, keeping a bend in that foundational leg. Maybe your hands move more towards the front of that chair, and finding that lifting. And then exhale, that floating leg meets that right leg. Maybe feet step back slightly, forearms coming down onto the chair, finding that forward fold. Knees are bent. Head and neck feel heavy. And then tucking that chin, slowly rolling up. Let's take one more big inhale. Exhale, arms down by your side. And then we're going to break for commercial, and we'll be right back. Hi, now we're going to begin to cool down our body, finding our chair. I'm going to take my blanket, towel, whichever you have at home, find that nice support under my feet. Coming more towards the front of my mat with my seat bones. And let's kind of rock back and forth, feeling that grounding support in our seat bones here. Hands are coming to our thighs. Lengthening up through the spine, opening up our chest. Softening through the face and the jaw. And then we're just going to practice doing some back bends here. So we're going to grab onto the back of our chair, or the sides of our chair. We're going to keep our chin tucked so close in to your chest. And you want to feel that movement right down here in the lower part of our back. So we're just kind of coming in and out of it, kind of like an isolated cat-cow. So find that comfortable seat. Lengthen through that spine, keeping that chin tucked. Maybe gaze is more down towards the floor. And we're just going to open up through the chest, feeling that back bend. Maybe feeling a little bit more curvature in the back. And then release. And let's do that a few more times, keeping that chin tucked. And then release, kind of coming into a neutral spine. One more time. And then exhale, release. We're going to scoot back a little bit on our chair, and we're going to find a butterfly pose in this chair. So this is a great place for your blanket. You might need to come You might have to play with your seat placement. So we're just gonna bring our heels of our feet in together, kind of feeling this widening stance. Allowing your hands to come down onto the sides of your chair for that support. And then maybe feeling that stretch in your inner thighs. And we're just gonna breathe here. Maybe notice if you're holding any tension in your face or your jaw. Sending that breath down towards the ground. And then bringing your hands onto the sides of your thighs, bringing your legs in together. Scooting back slightly on your chair. We're gonna widen those legs. They might come off your blanket depending on the length of that blanket. So we're making a V with our legs here. And we're just going to slowly come down, so lengthen up through the spine, kind of finding this forward fold. So our arms are going to come inside of our legs, hands coming down onto the floor. And then we're going to reach up as our body kind of makes its way up. Let's do that a couple more times. So exhale. Arms staying the inside of our thighs. Keeping that back nice and flat. Inhale, allowing your arms to kind of help you rise up. Exhale, release. And if this is too much, knowing that your forearms can always come resting on your thighs, maybe this is what your forward fold looks like, which is fine. Listening to your body is really important. And then pressing into those forearms and then reaching your arms up towards the ceiling. So let's do that one more time. Come onto my forearms. Chest sinks towards the floor. Press into those arms, reaching up. And then exhale, release your arms back down by your sides. We're gonna bring those feet back onto our blanket or towel. And then we're gonna bring that left hand over to the right thigh. We're gonna find a little twist here. So allowing that right arm to kind of sit behind you or grabbing onto the chair. So as we inhale, we wanna twist. And then exhale, release. Let's do that 2 more times on that side. Inhale, rising up, twisting. Exhale, release. Last one. Exhale, release. And then let's find that right hand on their left thigh, finding that twist. Inhale, exhale, kind of let it out. Maybe that exhale comes out your mouth, twisting. And then exhale, release. One more time. And then exhale out the mouth. Let's take one nice inhale here. Arms are gonna come together. And then as we exhale, we're gonna exhale that right hand. It's gonna come down onto the side of our chair. We're gonna reach over, finding that side bend. And then using that supporting arm, pushing ourselves back up. Right arm comes up to meet the left. Inhale as we lengthen. Exhale, left arm comes down. Reaching over with that right. And then exhale, release. Bring your hands onto your thighs, taking a breath here. and we're gonna break for commercial, but before we do that, you will need a blanket to kind of support your neck, as well as 2 blankets or 2 pillows, and I'll see you in a few. Okay, welcome back. So we've got our pillow, we've got our blanket. I just wanted to show you before we get started, you want to take your blanket in, make it as long as it can, or if you have a strap too or a scarf, we just want to roll it because we're going to use it somewhat as a strap for our feet when we sit down. But we're going to come into standing. We're going to find that support from the back of our chair. And we're just going to swing this leg, kind of get into the front of those psoas muscles. So we're going to shift our weight onto that right leg. We're just going to allow this to swing nice and gentle here. If you need a little bit more room, maybe bending that front leg. Standing nice and tall. Feeling maybe that a little relaxation in the front leg there. And then release it back to center. We're going to step our legs out wide. Just do a nice little circle here. Keeping a nice bend in those knees. Breathing. And then when you find yourself in the middle, switching directions. One more. And then coming back to center, we're going to bring those feet in together. We're going to come on the other side of our chair and do that opposite leg. So finding that support with the chair, planting that left leg down, and then swinging here with that right leg. And this can be a very small movement. Or it might feel good to get a little bit more of a swing in there. Just noticing what feels good to your body. One more. And then release that down. And then let's make our way onto our chair. We're going to need that strap. Placing our seat bones down. We're going to have those pillows down on our feet. So we're just going to take that strap. We're going to start with that right foot first. You can move that pillow. Placing the foot in that blanket. We're just going to lift our leg up, kind of stretching it and then release it. Let's do that a few more times. Pulling in that core. And then exhale, release. Maybe shake that leg out. And then let's find that on the opposite side. So we're going to extend that leg out in front. Lengthening up through the spine. Exhale. Let it go. 2 more times. Nice full breath here. Last one. And then releasing that down, we're just gonna do some nice windshield wipers. So you might have to scoot forward a little bit. We're just gonna tick-tock our knees from side to side. It might feel good to grab onto the side of your chair. Taking a few rounds of breath. And then slowly bringing those back to center. And we're gonna prep ourselves for Shavasana in the chair. Now, if you prefer Shavasana on your mat, please feel free to do that. This is just an option if you wanna stay seated in your chair. So first we're gonna grab those pillows, bring it underneath our legs, kind of a little footstool, and we're going to want to be fully rested back on our chair, so that back support's really supporting us. And then we're gonna take that blanket, resting it around our neck. So you might have to play with this a little bit, and then just allowing it to catch. So if it lets your head fall back and find that nice support. And repositioning those pillows however you want. You just want it as a nice support. And then finding your seat bones. Eyes can be open or closed, allowing your head to rest back. Arms can be down by your sides or holding on to the blanket. And just let yourself relax, allowing the rhythm of your breath to sink down into your body, softening through your face and your jaw, softening through your shoulders and your neck, softening through the chest and the belly, softening through the hips and the thighs, calves and your feet. Let the rhythm of your breath begin to relax your mind and relax your body. And then gently begin to increase your inhales and your exhales. Finding some movement in your fingers and your toes. And if you decided to lie on your mat, bringing your heels onto your mat and gently making yourself into easy pose. If you're in a chair, allow your eyes to come open, bringing your neck up slightly. Maybe making your way towards the front of your chair. Taking a breath here. Bringing your hands together at heart center. Thank yourself for showing up today. Finding some gentle movement and allowing yourself to connect with your breath. Namaste.